friends, I'm Dee, about to react to this impressive vid. It's titled Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert Broke Up, SMH. I already reacted to a video about that yesterday, so we'll skim through that very quickly. But in this video, she also talks about Chris Brown getting mad at Tinashe because she rejected him. Oh, I didn't know that Chris Breezy was trying to mess with Tinashe on that level. Okay, we're going to get all the tea and see what's going on. Let's watch.
Hello, everybody.
Sorry,
welcome
the sun is like
to
all in my
channel.
face. It'll pass.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's in the air, but it
What you
seems
mean,
like everybody is separating. Now,
I mean, that's
Iman
life. Niggas
Shumpert
break up
and
every day,
Teyana
B.
Taylor are the latest couple to separate, and a lot of people, of course, were taken back by surprise because people love Teyana and Iman together. They had amazing chemistry together. I remember when they sat down and did an interview with GQ, and they were asked questions about each other, and Iman knew everything about Teyana. It's like they knew each other so well. They even had a reality show, and it made people love them and their little family. However, everything we see up front is not how it is behind the scenes.
Baby.
And I should have noticed that there was something going on between Iman and Teyana when they both stopped making appearances together. Around the summertime, Teyana was actually confronted by Chris Brown, and I was thinking, well, where is her husband, Iman? Like, what's going on, and why didn't he address the situation? I thought that was weird, but now it makes sense. They weren't together during that time. Teyana actually revealed that they've been separated for a while, and this is what she said in her post.
I already reacted to all this.
To make it clear that infidelity was not the reason. It seemed to me like they did have an amicable split. However, I do wonder what happened between them for them to get to this point because they did seem so close. I personally believe, and this might not be true, but I personally believe that the disconnect between them happened because they were inviting too many people in their bedroom, okay? Oh. Teyana and Iman have been open about the fact that they do have threesomes, and a lot of couples out there do it, and they're able to stick together through it all.
But she said it wasn't because of that.
Door for a lot of temptation and a lot of distractions. And even though Teyana said that she and Iman didn't separate because of any infidelity, I do believe that they probably explored some situations outside of their marriage, and it created a disconnect. And this is just my speculation. I'm not saying that it's true, but I wouldn't put it past them either. And I'm not going to say that threesomes is what caused them to go their separate ways, but I will say it probably was a big contributing factor in why they started to become disconnected in the first place.
Is this
something
that you guys have done frequently? In having menage a trois?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the mix up. You know what I'm saying? People here think that it's like a thing where it's like every day we just take pictures down. Like that's not that. It just be those times where like we just like if we on vacation, like our anniversary, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain times where like, you know, like in the beginning I wanted to try it. Like I said, I'm Dora the Explorer. Now as far as my sexual preference and what I want to do, that's me. That's never I don't do anything sexual to keep my man. The sex is crazy regardless. The sex is already crazy before y'all marry, y'all just boyfriend and girlfriend. Like once y'all get married and gotta be with somebody, you know, gotta be with one another for the rest of your life, it's just like, what's next? Like, I'm a Sagittarius, we need, let's try, let's do it. Like, at the same time, I'm never gonna put myself in a position that like, I can't handle. Like, this ain't a thing where, oh, she's gonna go behind your back and deal with her. Nah, this ain't.
What about you? When you feel, did you ever get jealous? Like,
I get jealous, but I don't be like, I feel like it's
a lot of people do that like girls, but like my first time like dealing with like another girl was with my husband. Like I don't, you know, like I'm not that type of time.
So those were just sound bites of Teyana and Iman talking about their threesomes, and you heard Teyana say that she was the one who kind of was really curious about having a threesome at first because she wanted to explore more. And in this situation, I think curiosity killed the cat. I think the more they started to explore, the less they.
I think people tend to project their own feelings onto others because you wouldn't be comfortable with something like that and it would cause an issue in your own relationship. You cannot project that on other people and say, oh, this must have been the issue between y'all. Not everybody thinks the same way. I know this is very hard for some people to wrap their heads around, which I don't understand why it's so difficult. But people operate differently. People do things differently. Okay? I'm not going to speak about my own personal business, but just know people like different shit and people are okay with different shit. I'm not saying I'm on this anyway. Like I said, the point is people are different. So you cannot just say that, oh, it must have been because of it. Or I think it had to be. Not everybody is the same, but all right, girl, let's move on.
Interested in each other, and that's really what it boils down to. Teyana said that she didn't start messing with women until she got with Iman. So maybe women started to become more of her preference over time. Who knows? And in Iman's case, he started wandering and looking for something to satisfy his lust.
Oh.
So I think that threesomes are the root of why they started to grow apart. And it's really unfortunate because I liked Iman and Teyana together, and they do have 2 young children. I would hope that maybe they could turn things around and work things out, but they're going to have to set some boundaries and make some serious changes before that happens. But the situation is unfortunate. I will say that. Now, moving on, I want to briefly talk about this whole Chris Brown
incident. Please, let's move on. Let's slow it down a bit, just a bit.
Tinashe B. Now, recently, Tinashe sat down on the Zach Sang show, and Zach Sang asked her a question about working with controversial figures like R. Kelly and Chris Brown. And what Tinashe said really triggered Chris. This is what she said.
Attached to things that felt labely.
Mm-hmm. She said he just like R. Kelly?
Category, the songs you did with R. Kelly and Chris Brown.
You think I mind? I literally block out that R. Kelly song from my mind. I forget that even exists. That is so embarrassing.
Girl, I don't even know.
So unreal that I even have a song about R. Kelly. That's so embarrassing. Yes, that was labely.
Yeah, knowing you, it actually hurts me that somebody put you in that position.
And I was so young too, which is crazy because I feel like I did that song when I just signed to that label. I was probably 20. Yeah, that's crazy.
And I think the public perceives it as you doing that willingly and not understanding that you lack a lot of control in that situation.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, you do.
1,000%. You probably
girl.
And especially when it comes to singles, for example, that song with Chris, that was a song that I put, a lot of, we all wanted it to be, this big moment, this big single. So I feel in their mind, they were you need this support. And he was, the biggest artist that had on rhythmic radio at the time. And to me, I was well, this is a pop song, so I really don't feel we should put Chris on it. I don't,
he makes pop music.
That doesn't compute to me, but...
How does that not compute?
Your computation was 100% correct.
Now, I didn't see anything wrong with what Tinashe said, and I found it interesting how people were going in on her, but honestly, she was calling out her label and how they were making her do collaborations that didn't make sense. Now, she could have...
Well, her reasoning doesn't make sense because she's it's a pop song. Why? Chris makes pop music as well as R&B, so why wouldn't that make sense? So I guess that's why I'm side-eyeing that statement.
Put her foot down and said no if she felt that strongly about it, but...
And how you gonna make it seem like you don't want to do a song with one of the biggest artists? In 2015, Chris was way more popular than he is now. So I'm confused.
She was young and she was doing what the label was telling her to do. And she felt like if she didn't do
it, he was more popular than you.
She would not release her project. And that's what eventually happened to her. RCA really did give her a hard time when releasing music. I do think she was pressured to collaborate with certain artists to ensure that she gets a hit. And speaking about Chris in particular, she did a song with him called Player. And she said it didn't make sense for her to do a collaboration with an R&B artist like Chris because Player is a pop song. So I didn't see anything wrong with what she said, but Chris, of course, got in his feelings, like always, and he took shots at Tinashe. He said, name 5 Tinashe songs or die. Everybody dead. She's full of that evil. Shawty's career is non-existent. What's more embarrassing is that she worked with all of these people and not one of us could save her career. Now, I thought this is so unnecessary. I mean, Chris is too sensitive. He really is too sensitive. Now, it's interesting to me that he had this energy towards Tinashe, but he didn't say anything when Selena scrunched up her face at the mention of his name at the VMAs. See, he's very particular at who he goes at, and he went at Tinashe because he knows Tinashe is an easy target. She's a lesser-known artist, and it's easy to pick at her. But to be honest, I didn't think what she said was wrong. Now, I will say this. I can understand where Chris's frustration lies when it comes to the fickleness in the industry and how two-faced people can be. You'll have certain artists who act like they don't like Chris, but secretly behind closed doors, they're singing all of his songs and begging for a feature. So I think he hates the fakeness, and he gets easily triggered when one of his peers speaks down on him. But that doesn't justify him being overly emotional and petty when he doesn't need to be. In this situation, I feel like he needed to be petty towards Tinashe. He's just too sassy, if you know what I mean. But Tinashe didn't really respond. However, she was getting a lot of support from her fans. And I noticed that she liked an interesting tweet. This is the tweet that she liked. You already know we riding with you. I got a good feeling you rejected Chris and he's still butthurt over it. That would explain his hostility and weird obsession with you. LOL. So I guess that's Tinashe's way of confirming that Chris is salty that she rejected him years ago, because this is not the first time Chris has come out against Tinashe. In fact, there was a situation that happened years ago when the R&B singer Kehlani got exposed for cheating on Kyrie Irving with Party Next Door. And the situation got so overwhelming for her that she attempted to end her life. Chris Brown got on the internet and started mocking her, saying that she was doing it for sympathy. And a lot of people started to unfollow Chris when he did that, including Tinashe. And Chris was upset that Tinashe unfollowed him because they just worked on a song together. So he was really upset about that, and he said a few things, and Tinashe did respond.
So when people assume that there's a tweet where about you and My Girl Zendaya, when he was just like, F it, you need me, blah, 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 blah. What was your reaction to that?
I just kind of laughed it off.
Really?
I felt like it was just so unnecessary, and I was just like, what? That's just so unnecessary.
Right.
I don't think that follows on Twitter are like a big deal. So.
Yeah. Chris saw this interview and called Tinashe a hobbit face. This is what he said. I hope she talked about her career for most of this interview. Who is Shay? Tinashe. I hope they rehearsing for those performances. Power 106 charity basketball game halftime show. Give her credit though. 36-year-old hobbit face blank. We want music. We want music. We want music. Teach me how to jerk face blank. Child. To this
Not
day,
hobbit face. She's so pretty.
Brown is a menace. But looking at it all, it seems as if Chris Brown was in his
She's
feelings
so cute.
because Tinashe rejected him. His ego couldn't take the rejection, so this is why he's still pressed over Tinashe.
Woo, child, the ghetto. I do feel like his response was unnecessary and childish. Like, he didn't have to come out and do all of that because it's not like she shitted on him or she said anything that was too crazy. She just said that, she didn't think the collaboration made sense at that time. But I do feel like she's capped. I'm sure that she was excited as fuck to do a song with Chris Brown in 2015. What? As you were trying to further your career and, get more popular yourself, I'm sure you were excited to do a song with Chris. So stop. I feel like now she's coming out and saying this because it is becoming a bit more popular to shit on Chris, and people are starting to, notice that he's not the best person and that he does have a history of being aggressive with women, and he has a bad reputation right now, and people are getting a bit more comfortable in speaking ill of him. So I feel like that's why she's coming out and saying this now. I don't think she would have said this years ago. So yeah, it's just odd to be like, yeah, I didn't think it made sense, but I had to do what the label wanted me to do. I didn't really want to do it. Girl, yes, the fuck you did. Shut up. So, I do agree with that. If I was Chris, I would have rolled my eyes like, girl, fuck out of here. And I just wouldn't fuck with her or talk to her ever again. But he needs to get on social media and bash her. Like, I do think that's lame, especially at his big age. And it's like, and you got these kids and shit. I just don't see any type of growth with this man. And it's embarrassing at this point. It's like, goddamn, like, hopping on Twitter to bash women or bash anybody for that matter, and just being on this childish shit and going on these rants, it's just odd. It's just odd at his big age. It's like, where's the maturity? Are we going to mature at all? Are we going to grow at all? So, there's that. But yeah, I do feel like her comment was unnecessary. I don't feel like she had to say that. And then the fact that they had previously talked about R. Kelly, it is kind of like you're lumping him in with R. Kelly as well, because we're talking about, problematic artists that you didn't really want to work with or that you are embarrassed that you worked with. So that is a little, I'm kind of side-eyeing her. I don't feel like she needed to bring Chris up. But yeah, it is what it is. People are going to be messy. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!